Dear students, welcome back to the HCI Lab 3. In the previous video, we have discussed about the basics of repeaters widget in Azure RP10. We also saw a few of the examples where the repeaters are used extensively in product listings such as we saw Hunger Station, Amazon.com, and the example that we are supposed to do in Lab 3 as a class exercise. Let us understand now the basic parts of a repeater. The repeater comprises of two important parts: the data item, which is being displayed to the user on the user interface, the repeater's data set, which holds the data to be displayed as a data item in the interface given to the user. Now let us see the examples of each of them. For example, the repeater's data set might look like this, which will hold the data that will be displayed or that will go in the repeater's user interface as data items. For example, here we see a repeater widget, okay, displaying three items as the product listing. Okay, here we have the image of the product, heading 1, and some paragraph. These three things are coming from the repeaters data set. For example, you see heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 for three different items respectively, and the paragraphs over there. And there is one column here which is not being displayed, which is hidden. It is for images. We will see all of them little later. This is an example of repeater data item. This is how the repeater data set will look like. You may easily create a repeater from the default library by dragging and dropping it into the canvas area, or by right clicking on the canvas area and converting any widget into a repeater, the same way how we convert the couple of widgets into the dynamic panel. When you select an item or the repeater data set or a repeater item, three important features of the repeater, like interaction styles and nodes, they are they get displayed. Now let us see the one of the very important functionality called as connect widget. When you add an image, yeah, this is what was missing here. Okay, and you see when you look into the repeater data set for the given example in detail, you see the image column also being appeared here. When you add any item or any widget inside a repeater, you may drag and drop a button and place it here. You may drag and drop a link and place it here. You may have another image being part of this particular item. You may design or have the collection of widgets inside each item according to your requirement. So in this example, we have one heading, a paragraph, and an image. In a different case, I may have two images. Maybe I can have three links. Maybe I can have a rating, star rating, or maybe I do not need a paragraph at all. So depending on the combination of widgets what you put inside the item, you will see the data set accordingly. And this purely depends on the requirement of the user interface. It may change anytime. Now, whenever you add a new widget into a repeater item, you need to connect it to the repeater. To make it a part of a repeater, we have something called as connect widget. Otherwise, what happens if you do not connect this widget? The newly added item, the newly added widget into the item will not get displayed, because it will not think the newly added button or a link added to this particular item as its part. It will consider as the item's part only when you connect the widget. Now when you are, for example, if you are trying to add an image, it will give you uh, the connect widget feature, which will make this image attached to this particular thing. This will be more clear when we do it practically. When you display the repeater item is displayed in a single item column, and then when you click on it, it gets bigger. Okay, now let us do all this thing practically in few seconds. Yeah, this is how the item looks like this. When you design the item that is to be displayed in the repeater as a list, you will design only single item. You will not design the number of items. You will just design a single item, because this single item in turn is going to be repeated multiple times. So there is no need to design many items. You just design a single item. So here this item is holding three widgets: paragraph for the description of the item, heading for the title of the item, and the image for displaying the product inside this item. And you see the repeater data set is consisting of three rows. It means there are three items that is going to come as default into two columns. One is this column, another one is the heading and the paragraph column. Okay, the data set. Now if we decide to have the repetition of data item three times, then I need to have three rows here, and we connect the newly added widget by using connect widget. And when the user wants to click on this particular link and you want to navigate to the external URL, then you need to add an interaction. The interaction will refer to a particular item inside this by using item.url. Item refers to the items and the URL refers to the column. For example, if you want to put some interaction on external links or a button, then it will be item.button or item.links. Here we want to put an interaction. When the user is clicking on the URL, we want to navigate or take the user to the URL. So that is the reason why we select this URL and we attach the click or tap interaction. And then when the user is clicking on the URL, we want to take this item.url to an external link, and the function is item.url. We will see all these things practically, after a short while. The layout, spacing, and pagination allows you to decide the way how you lay out the items inside the repeater. For example, here we are displaying three items horizontally. So you click on the repeater and then you go to the style and select the horizontal, or you may keep it like vertical. You may also, for example, if you have 100 items and you decide to put 10 items in each page, then you go to pagination and then you will select this multiple pages, and then you display 10 items, and you change this number, like items per page to be 10, and starting from page number 1. So this is about the styling and the formatting. Okay. Padding allows you to give the left, right, top, and bottom spaces between the cells. For example, this is a cell, and the space, the bottom space, the right side space, the left side space, and the distance between the content of the cell and the content itself is called as padding. So you can decide to give it here. The borders, the fill colors, all things are given here with the within the style. You can use a wrap grid to put all the items in each column or a row with a specific distance. Spacing, as we just saw here. Pagination we saw. Okay, at the end of the lab 1, you will do the task of creating the list of cities with their weather centigrades and some images. For example, if it is a sunny day, then you are going to display an image of sun and the name of the city and the temperature over there. So this is the example. This is the lab task that you will do. With this, we have discussed the basics of a repeater widget. In the next video, we will see how to create the widget practically, and we will do the lab task. Thank you for watching.